We have another DANDADAN video, and you know what that means. Copyright strikes. Hopefully not. Today, we're going to be unboxing the new DANDADAN Funko line, and then critiquing them. If you like these new DANDADAN Funko Pops, or just the series in general, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. For the critique, I'll be discussing the Pop's good and bad qualities, try to figure out if there's a specific scene where the pose came from, and then see if they utilize the Shinobu treatment. We'll kick this off with some granny fashion. Psycho ISA, a PG company line for the most part with their stylistic design choices, turns PG-13 real quick as she is shown smoking a cigarette. Dare has nothing on her as she's a physically fit granny who looks like she's still in her late 20s or early 30s. Don't smoke, do drugs, or vape, or any of that crap, kids, or AI bots that choose to watch me so that way they can find another reason to take me down for making a DANDADAN video. Definitely not salty still. Back to the real topic offhand. Granny Psycho turned out really well. The cigarette is something that I thought they would have censored or removed, but it's part of her identity, so I'm glad that they did not. Overall, her translation to Funko form was a success. Her hair could technically be longer, but the height of it currently is fitting and looks good, so it doesn't have to be 100% accurate in terms of proportions. Her pose is pretty badass in my opinion because she is challenging you to come in, get over here, hit that like and subscribe button perhaps. The bat and cape indicate that this was in the beginning of the series when she just got out of her TV special and hopped out of the cab, ready to beat the crap out of Turbo Granny, who was taking over Okaru. As far as I could remember, this was the only instance of her wearing the cape, so figuring out where this occurred was pretty easy. Before I go into my favorite part of the pop, I wanted to talk about the boxes and the stands for this wave. In the past, the stands have always seemed kind of generic, one size fit all kind of style. Each mold in this wave has a custom base, and some even have two pegs, one for each foot, only providing more support to hold the figure. This was a cool and subtle detail, but I very much appreciate it. I don't know what it is about the black, whites, and reds all together, but it's visually striking and looks amazing to me. The cape is a big factor in this pop's success because if you try to visualize it without it, it would be pretty plain and basic. But my favorite aspect of this pop is her glasses. They finally knocked this look out of the park. They're actually translucent, the metal frames has a glossy finish, and overall looks very clean. Another detail that if they messed this up, it was front and center and would not have been able to pull off well. Even down to the tiniest detail of them adding hairlines in the eyebrows. I like this a lot as well because it just adds that much more detail to make this pop look a lot less plain and boring. Overall, I really enjoy this pop and it's a strong way to start the series of Funkos for the show. Next granny in line is Turbo Granny. I don't think I need to explain what most people would complain about most about this pop. The horizontal box. This is a nuisance solely because they don't fit well in my perfectly measured background for vertical pops. Do these style boxes screw up my displays and make me work harder to figure out how to get these in here and still look presentable? Absolutely. Horizontal issues aside, we get a cat version of Turbo Granny here in her classic pose. This isn't necessarily from any particular scene, I don't think, because she is in this pose quite a bit. In terms of translation to Funko form, it's alright. Something seems off to me and I can't put my finger on it. If you look at the proportions of how she's depicted in the show, her head is about half her body height, and it's roughly that in Funko form. I thought it was the coin, but that seems to take up almost the entire length of the torso, which is done in Funko form as well. Maybe the proportions are just so perfect that it's bothering me because I'm just so used to all the other Funkos being flawed in this way. That's a possibility. You heard it folks, this pop is perfect. Apparently my horizontal bias is trying its hardest to influence this pop negatively, but I just can't. That's Turbo Granny. She's a comic relief for the most part, and here she is giving me an uncomfortable stare down like she's trying to break her character role. I feel like this whole segment was like separating doesn't into does not to add more words for a high school essay with a word requirement. Definitely not trying to make this video a tad bit longer. Next piece is my girl Momo ISA, one of my favorite female characters of all time. Partially because of her personality, but also because she's voiced by Abby Trott. I love her vocal work. I even got to meet her and get some stuff signed, and she's super cool. Fanboy stuff aside, when we got our first glance of this, I wasn't really a fan. I wasn't a super fan of her translation into Funko form specifically. Her proportions were just off to me. But once we got it in hand and unboxed it, I didn't feel as critical of it. One detail I was expecting to be missed was her alien earrings lacking facial details. That was literally the first thing I looked for when I got this in the mail, and to my surprise, they were there and I was hopeful that this pop was saved at this point. They captured her sassy attitude well with the pose she's in. Another important detail that they needed to nail was her hair. Her hair is pretty iconic to her character in my opinion, and it looks good. All the strands of hair and her bangs were depicted accurately and it looks better than the custom one I got here a while back. You can check that out right here as well. Her eyes are more brown in the anime, but in Funko form, they're almost a burgundy-like color. And honestly, I dig it. If it were the same color as her hair, it would kind of blend in a little bit too much. So the off color I think was a good design choice. I almost prefer this to be her actual real eye color. Lastly, we have Ogre transformed as Turbo Granny. What a goddamn masterpiece. Easily the best of the wave. The craziest thing is, this was the common variant, and the chase was just normal Ogre. And I have an explanation for this actually. At the beginning of the show, after Turbo Granny took him over, without Momo's assistance, he would revert back to the yokai form. So in this instance, the regular form of Okarun is harder to maintain, just like people's collections if they're trying to obtain the 1 in 6 chance chase. For once, they actually could have given the fans what they really wanted, and the diehards can fight for the regular variant of Okarun. My thing is they're most likely going to make another regular Okarun at some point in time, so I don't think this chase is worth going after. This thing turned out great. The white hair and red lines are visually appealing. The different shade of red for his eyes are an amazing touch to keep separation from the red lines on his face and hair. The red parts in his costume turned out perfectly, as those are the jagged shaped edges, and the transition over to the black was flawless. They use a glossy finish on the suit, and I honestly don't have a problem with it. It doesn't really make sense realistically, since I would assume his outfit isn't silky, but it makes the figure just a bit more visually appealing despite the piece already being quite chaotic. Just like Granny Psycho, his glasses are done perfectly with the transparent plastic. It just looks really good. I'm really happy with this Okarun pop, and the entire line as well. It makes me hopeful for future waves, knowing that they will knock out these poses, yokai, and alien characters out of this world. Now it's time for the Shinobu treatment. For those who are unaware, this is a segment I do for Funko reviews where I try to give my take on what the pop needs to take it to the next level. The Shinobu pop they first released was the inspiration of this, hence the name. We'll start with Psycho Ayase. Honestly, I don't think this needs anything. If she were to not have the cape, then I would say she needs it. A text bubble would take away from the pop, so I don't want to add that. This one's perfect as is. Turbo Granny. This pose was chosen because if they didn't, then people would bitch that they did not get this one. So the only thing I can think of to make this pop better is just to add sound capabilities, because it would be funny as hell to have her battery be slightly defective and have her complaining randomly, just like when making videos like this. Your videos suck. Okay, maybe that would not be the greatest idea. Momo Ayase. Her pose is accurately depicted, and it's so specific that there's literally nothing to add. Her using her powers isn't relevant to the pose, so it's not a valid option. I genuinely think that this pop nailed it on the first try. Transformed Ogre. Even though this pop is chaotic and has a lot going for it, why not add some glow to it? I like glow, and you guys like glow as well, for the sake of this bit. So bam, make the red parts of his hair and outfit glow, and he would be sure to win Momo over. For Momo and Psycho, let me know in the comments below what you guys would add to these pops to take him over the top. Overall, this wave was basically flawless. It surpassed all my expectations, and even though it didn't come out at the peak of its popularity, I'm glad the time was spent to focus on all the tiny little details and poses, because that's what really won me over on these figures. We even now have a pre-release for the new Momo Funko from Chalice, and it looks great. If you wanted to snag any of these lovely pops, I will leave links in the description so you can grab some of these for yourself. Thanks for watching, and hopefully enjoy this unboxing. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.